In this video, I'm going to be sharing my top tips for how you can learn to decorate cakes step by step. My name is Asia Coffee and I'm a cake artist and cake decorating instructor. I've been decorating cakes since 2011 and teaching cake decorating since 2012, so you are definitely in the right place. This video won't contain any actual tutorials, however, it will be full of actionable information that you can use along your cake decorating journey. So let's get started. The first tip I have for you is to buy baking and cake decorating books. Cake decorating can be broken down into two parts. One, the baking part, and two, the decorating part. There are a lot of great books out there. My personal favorite is The Better Baking Book by Kristen Hoffman. She's also known as Baker Betty. It includes starter recipes for all kinds of baked goods and some guidance on how you can develop your own recipes. If you're currently comfortable with your baking, you may want to choose to focus solely on the decorating part. On the flip side, if you aren't the strongest baker, but you really are excited to get started on the decorating part, baking from a box mix is a great alternative. There are just as many fantastic cake decorating books as there are baking books. Some of my personal favorites are How to Cake It by Yolanda Gamp. She also came out with a more recent book called Layer Up, which is a really, really great book. I also love this book called Sugar Rebels by Nick McBrides. Sorry if I ruined your name, Nick. This is awesome. I love this book. It does feature a lot of cupcake designs, but it also has inspiration for decorating cakes. So these are definitely ones that I would encourage you to pick up if you don't already have some cake decorating books on your shelf. They provide tons of detailed information about tools and techniques. Most almost always include cake recipes, filling recipes, and frosting recipes. It sounds a little old-fashioned, but having books on your shelf as a resource can be very handy. Step number 2 would be to research cake decorating techniques, trends, and styles. You can do this online via social media, of course. You have Instagram, Pinterest are some really great resources to do this. And there are also some really great digital magazines that will help you with inspiration as well. While baking and cake decorating books are great to have, they can quickly become outdated in terms of trends. And this is where social media and digital magazines shine. There is a lot of inspiration out there. Some of the best places to find cake decorating inspiration are, of course, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube, where you are right now. There's some really great digital magazines to check out. My personal favorites are Cake Magazine, Cake Masters, and the American Cake Decorating Magazine. Blogs are also great online resources. Also, keep an eye out for ideas and tutorials and other information available through the major cake decorating players, and those are Wilton and Satin Ice. And of course, you'll want to save your ideas in bookmarks or pins or playlists for later reference. Today, it is easier than ever to save your ideas. And now you're ready to actually get started with cake decorating. Step number 3 is that you want to start with essential tools and start to master some basic techniques within your first year of decorating. Cake decorating can be an expensive hobby, and that is because there are so many tools available. If you want to get started right away, there are only really 5 essential tools that you need to get started right now. Those tools include piping bags and spatulas and a turntable. I describe all of these in more detail in a separate video, which is linked in the description. And ideally, there are a handful of skills that you would want to master in your first year of cake decorating. And those skills include icing a cake, learning to layer your cake, learning to color frosting. And I cover all of these again in more detail in a separate video that's also linked in the description. And step number 4 is that you want to practice. When you're first starting out with cake decorating, practice is very important. But it's also important to remember that practice does not make perfect. In the words of motivational speaker Les Brown, practice makes improvement. In terms of buttercream piping, it's actually easier to practice those skills than you might think. All you really need is buttercream, decorating bags, piping tips, and a coupler if you are practicing multiple techniques, and some good old parchment paper. Yes, you heard correctly. You do not need to bake a cake or bake cupcakes or bake cookies just to practice your buttercream piping skills. All you really need is parchment paper, which will serve as your surface. To practice those cake decorating skills that do require baking, such as frosting a cake, upcoming holidays and family celebrations are a great opportunity to practice the skills that you've been learning. And this leads us to our next step. Step number 5 is to share your creations with your family and friends. Your close family and friends are usually the first group to see and taste your beautiful baked creations. If you're looking for honest feedback and not brutal truth, because why does truth need to be brutal? It does not. They will most likely be willing to share it with you if you ask them. Try to be receptive to their feedback. Ultimately, your close family and friends are rooting for you and they want to see you succeed in this endeavor. The 6th step in learning how to decorate cakes is to find an online group for support. Consider joining a Facebook group that's centered around cake decorating. Not a fan of Facebook? No problem. There are a handful of subs on Reddit where you can ask a question, get inspiration, and even post some of your latest bake creations. Another super helpful online resource is the forum Cake Central. It's the world's largest cake community for cake decorating professionals and enthusiasts. Finding support, inspiration, and encouragement for your newfound hobby is easier than you think. If you're ready to take it to the next level, step number 7 is to find and attend an in-person cake decorating class. I'll be the first to tell you that finding an in-person cake decorating class can be difficult. Prior to 2020, cake decorating classes could be found in your hobby store, such as Michael's and Joann, and also Hobby Lobby. During the pandemic, those classrooms were turned into storage rooms, and many of those storage rooms still remain today, unfortunately. The first tip that I'll give you, if you're looking for classes locally, look for classes that may be offered at a local independent bakery. Many have started to offer classes in the last few years. Another great way to attend an in-person cake decorating class is to find a cake show or cake expo that's happening in your region. My personal favorite cake show is the SoFlo Cake and Candy Expo in Miami, Florida, that happens every year. I've taken several classes while at SoFlo and had learned a lot. Because it's a very popular show, it's also an opportunity to meet nationally known and internationally recognized cake artists. If you're ready to dive into cake decorating or you're excited to keep going, check out my Getting Started with Cake Decorating playlist right here. And be sure to like this video if it was helpful to you. And as always, thanks for watching.